Boo! Did I make you shit your pants there? We are talking about comics. This is Exiles number 32, and this cover needs some discussion. This is a poster cover, and it is the worst type of poster cover. This character is barely in this issue. She is in it, but she's not really important or even much of a part of this story. A poster cover like this works great if it is an issue all about her and her origin or a relationship with the team. But no, she's like the member of the team with the least amount of lines in the whole two-part story. Exiles are an excellent men team that journey to alternative realities and have to fix them. Simple idea, simple concept, good idea, good concept. And we have this story, and this is part 2. I looked at part 1 already and discussed where and what this story spins out from. Basically, we have Dracula Avengers, and they are being led by Dracula, Captain America, who is king of the Draculas. This page is the only one that makes the cover seem appropriate. And it bothers me that it is the second page, because it makes me look like a liar when I said that Bigfoot doesn't die out in this issue. Dracula Captain America as an evil Dracula plan to use evil Dracula magic to transform everyone into evil Draculas like him. And it is up to the excellent men, or rather the Exiles, to stop them from doing so. I do tend to use the label of excellent men quite liberally. One of the subplots is that one of the team, Sun Girl, she was bitten by a Dracula, and the team want to stop her from transforming, so they go to the closest thing they can find to an expert on Draculas, which is Kenneth, son of Fire Spit and grandson of the original Jack Staff. I will not explain all of that again. I will direct you to the videos on the Captain America story this is based on to get all the continuity coming into play here. But as I said in one of them, there is a nice little payoff with Kenneth in this. I also mentioned in part 1 that this Sun Girl plot is a cheat. She is cured at the end of this issue, and I thought it was going to be an ongoing plot line that this character becomes a Dracula and she starts losing her more human side over time. Not only would she pose a potential risk to the team, but she would also present a problem in that she wouldn't be able to get into action with the team if it was daytime on whatever reality they are sent to. Basically, there was some story you could have done with this as a development, and it is only magnified when you take into account that she is killed in a few issues off panel. There's also a delicious irony with her name and her powers being the antithesis of a Dracula. I assume they killed this character off because they couldn't think of what to do with her, or more unflatteringly, they just wanted to cause some angst and melodrama with her death. But there was still stuff you could have done. Not even ran with this Dracula stuff. This is an Asian female character with pretty decent, if basic, powers, who is also a lesbian. Why kill this one off instead of Smurfette, who is, by my reckoning, just a design? Yeah, it is the days of the adverts. Adverts on nearly every page. I ate it, and I also ate wonky continuity that comes from other writers. Just before this, we had a fill-in story by Bucky Larson, famously considered to be the worst Excellent Men writer ever, but I think there have been much worse since. He wrote a crossover, a guest appearance between Exiles and Uncanny Excellent Men, which he was writing at the time. And in that, there was this sequence where Wingman... Well, he thought Wingman would be a lot more cool if we gave him a sword. So he had Wingman just take Magic Girl's sword for himself. And then at the end, had Magic Girl create a new one for her to use, specifically saying that there is nothing special about her swords. And here, the very next story with the Exiles, we learn that the sword is actually special. It is ideal for slaying Draculas and anyone who is king of the Draculas. And you know, if Christopher Clairvoyant didn't waste his time writing stories about Dracula wanting to marry Storm, maybe he would have realised that the girl with the magic sword made more sense as the muty opposition for Dracula. So our final battle is ready to get underway. Dracula Captain America as the evil Dracula totem, and he is about to do the evil Dracula ritual with his evil Dracula Avengers. And the Exiles will have to stop him. I wish they could stop this shit instead. One of the worst things I have ever read. I pity anyone who will happily accept past his prime Jorge Perez art porn as a substitute for an actual story or good writing. Here is our satisfying bit with Kenneth. Kenneth becomes Jack's staff. In the mainstream universe, Kenneth never accepted his birthright, which was the Jack Staff identity. And instead, his best friend Joey took his place. Now, we finally get to have Kenneth don the costume and go to war with the evil Dracula enemies that have haunted his family for decades. The Exiles are there as well, but I do feel this little beat with Kenneth finally becoming Jack's staff to be a nice touch. It means now to the casual reader probably, but to someone like me who has a great deal of footing in Captain America stories and Invaders mythology. It's just one of those little twists that is nice to see come to pass somewhere. Kenneth, our new Jack Staff, is able to beat his evil Dracula enemy, Dracula Captain America. And then Magic Girl impales Dracula Captain America on her magic sword. There is some more to it, like Sun Girl being cured, but I didn't want to flatly give the ending away and what happens to Kenneth. R.I.P. Kenneth. This is the type of story I think Exiles excelled at. A nice contained tale where the reality itself isn't the hugely interesting thing. It's about seeing this team of obscure, excellent main characters combat Draculas, or let Kenneth live out the life that was meant for him briefly. It is an agreeable two-parter, so I'll give it a 7 thumbs up.